You know that feeling you get when you see the Indian tricolor flying high? That swell of pride? Well, what if I told you that iconic flag, the one we all know and love, was actually born from some serious controversy, and that its final design came down to a wild last-minute decision? Yeah, let's get into the secret history of the tricolor. I mean, we all learned it in school, right? Saffron for courage, white for peace, and green for faith. It's this beautiful, powerful symbol of the nation's values. But here's where the story gets really interesting. That design, it was anything but a sure thing. In fact, it was almost something else entirely. It came out of these huge debates that could have given India a totally different flag. Okay, so to really get this, we gotta rewind the clock. We're talking the early 1900s. The freedom movement is really starting to pick up steam, and there's this desperate need for a symbol, a single flag, that could bring millions of people together under one banner. And the first few attempts, like the Calcutta flag in 1906, they were a start. Then you had Madame Cama's flag in 1907. Things were evolving, but the real game changer? That came in 1921. A freedom fighter, Pingali Venkaya, shows up with a new design for Gandhi. And this was the one that set the stage for everything that followed. So Venkaya's design, it became super popular really fast. But at the same time, it lit the fuse on this massive debate, a debate that was really about the soul of the country, what India was actually gonna be. All right, so here's the breakdown of that 1921 flag. The original idea was pretty straightforward: red for Hindus, green for Muslims. But Gandhi saw it and thought, we need more. He suggested adding a white stripe for all the other communities. And then it came his big idea, putting the charkha, the spinning wheel, right in the middle. This was huge. It wasn't just decoration. It was a symbol of being self-reliant, of Swaraj. But this immediately sparked a huge question, one that leaders really wrestled with. Think about it. If your goal is to unite everyone, is tying colors to specific religions the way to go? A lot of people were worried that it might actually do the opposite, that it would just highlight the divisions they were trying so hard to erase. And this basically created two camps. On one side, you had people sticking to that original religious interpretation. But on the other side, you had leaders like Nehru saying, hang on a second, let's make this universal. Their idea was that the colors shouldn't stand for communities, but for ideals: courage, peace, faith, things that every single Indian could connect with, no matter who they were. And the debate didn't even stop there. The charkha itself became a point of contention. I mean, everyone agreed it was a powerful symbol of the struggle, but some leaders started asking, is a spinning wheel really the right symbol for a modern nation, a country that's looking to the future, to industry, to progress? So all of this, it all comes to a boiling point in July 1947. We are literally weeks away from independence. The clock is ticking, a decision has to be made, and the entire symbol of the nation is just hanging in the balance. There were a few different ideas on the table. Of course, many people wanted to keep the charkha to honor Gandhi's vision. Then there was this, honestly, a pretty shocking proposal to keep the British Union Jack in the corner of the flag, kind of like Australia does. Can you imagine? Luckily, that got shot down. And then a new idea started to gain traction. What if we found a symbol from India's ancient past, something timeless, something that had nothing to do with religion? And so the whole thing boiled down to one final choice: charkha versus chakra, the spinning wheel versus the wheel of law. You had the charkha, which stood for the recent struggle, for self-reliance. And then you had the Ashoka Chakra, representing something ancient, something universal, this idea of cosmic law, of dharma, of endless progress. In the end, the chakra won out. And why? Because it was so deeply rooted in India's own history and philosophy. It comes from the lion capital of Ashoka. It symbolized dharma, this idea of universal law. And as a wheel, it's all about motion, about progress, a message that a new nation must always move forward, never stand still. It was just the perfect timeless symbol. And so, with that crucial last-minute switch from the charkha to the chakra, the design was finally set. On July 22, 1947, the Constituent Assembly made it official. This was the flag of a free and independent India. So that universal vision for the colors, that's what became official. Saffron for courage and sacrifice, white for peace and truth, green for faith and prosperity. And right in the center, that navy blue Ashoka Chakra, as a constant reminder that a nation has to keep moving forward, that progress is life. So if there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that our flag wasn't just designed, it was forged in the fire of some really intense debates and disagreements. And in the end, it was a compromise, a choice to embrace a timeless idea of unity over the divisions of the moment. And ever since that day, the tricolor has become so much more than just a piece of cloth with some colors on it. It's really woven itself into the very soul of the nation. I mean, just think about it for a second. It's draped over the coffins of our fallen heroes, the highest honor. It's carried by our athletes at the Olympics. It's waved by millions of us during national celebrations. It's become this incredibly powerful, emotional symbol of freedom, of the very idea of India. When you think about it, the story of our flag is really the story of India itself, isn't it? It's a story of incredible diversity, of struggle, of tough compromises, but in the end, a story of finding unity. And that really leaves us with something to think about, right? The very symbol of Indian unity wasn't created because everyone agreed from the start. It was created by working through deep, fundamental disagreements to find common ground. So, what does that story of compromise teach us about how we can build unity today?